Okay, here we are now. We want to make sure that the world gets this. We're not sure if our conference line video is going to still operable or not. And we're almost at the end of this. This is part two. We were right almost at the end of part two. And I wasn't going to come on social medias, Facebook, live stream, but we want to make sure that the world gets this revelation. As you look, let's go back up for the sake of this recording. And for the sake of this recording, we're still on the 11th day of the 7th month. Well, also our calendar, 6025 is part two as we presented part one of our third day in Washington, District of Columbia. This is the third day, and this is part two of our third video live stream. It is also known as Friday, September 23rd, 2022 for recording's sake. We started out revealing Moshe and how he went on this particular mountain being in possession of Jethro's flock. You know, we know who Jethro is, what it means. You have to study that on your own. And how he went up to a mountain that a bush was burning. At that time, that bush was burning right on that mountain. As it was just why wasn't the bush consumed? Because this bush was not a literal bush. It was a prophetical, allegorical, and rhetorical. It was a rhetorical bush. Is that right? The first name of that bush was George. That's why it didn't burn, it was not consumed. George Bush, a pharaoh of the spiritual Egypt, in the house of the pharaoh. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, and we also this morning, this week, recapping a little bit of this morning's testimony, part one, we revealed who the great whore is, and how that whore is being in judgment right now. And furthermore, very quickly for the sake of this recording, I revealed how since January 20th, 2017, well, let's go back to 2007, how I wrote that Pharaoh. I wrote him every year he was in office for 8 years, from 2007. I wrote that Pharaoh. And in those letters I said, let my people go. Meet with me so we can discuss letting my people go. That I come from the God of the Hebrews. I was ignored. In fact, my father hardened his heart that he would not meet with me. And plagues ensued because he refused to meet with me in his country. Plagues, all types of plagues. I even wrote him and I told him in one letter, April of 2013, I said, if you meet with me, then you'll be blessed to discuss letting my people go, the children of God. Yahweh. I said, now if you refuse, then I'm going to bring a plague upon this planet and this country that had been seen since the days of Pharaoh of Egypt. And 2 months passed and there was no word. And the next thing you know, a plague ensued that had been seen since the days of Pharaoh. It's called Ebola in Africa. Even a case appeared in Florida, in South Florida. Then we had a plague that dealt with some type of flying insects. The Zika. In Wynwood, there was a plague in Florida. The Zika virus. Plague after plague. And I'm letting you know now, on this social media recording and live stream, that every time I wrote a letter to these U.S. pharaohs of Egypt, spiritual Egypt, and they refused to meet with me, plagues ensued. I even told that pharaoh of Africa that I can stop ISIS and ISIL from attacking U.S. people if you meet with me. ISIS will stop if you meet with me. If you refuse to meet, ISIS did not stop. They saw me and they know who I am. They sent messages to me from their people to my people. Let my people know that Judah is not African American. Mm-hmm. That Judah is the king's tribe, the ruling tribe of Israel. Mm-hmm. And they begged them, Judah, on YouTube to come back to the land so they can live. But they refused to acknowledge. And that went on until January the 20th, 2017, when I put the great dragon into office, as promised, that he'll have his chance to rule. And I wrote him every year in office. Not that they didn't receive the letters, they ignored them. And I told him in one letter, the last letter, if you refuse to come see me, then I'll take you out of office. I will take away your throne. And I'm known in the Bible as Michael. I am not Michael the black man. You will not see me standing behind you with a sign that says blacks for Trump. You got the wrong Michael. Michael would never favor the dragon, especially dispute the body of Moses, Moshe. Refused to see me, refused to come. So what I do, I kept my word and took him out of office, cast out, and his angels were cast out with him to fulfill Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, the great dragon. Now here we are again. September 23rd, 2022, to meet another Pharaoh on September 24th, 2022, or the 12th day of the 7th month, 6025. What will it be? Will you refuse to meet with me to discuss letting my people go? Or will another plague ensue, but this time kill the firstborns, kill the sons? This is not a game. This is prophetical. This is a repeat of history of what happened to the children of Israel in the land of the spirit of the physical Egypt over in Africa, that are now one tribe that is joined with another, that are now in the spiritual Egypt in this land that's called Solomon Egypt, fulfilling Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. This is now that Egypt, the spiritual Egypt. The same conditions, the same nations, all nations are here. I gathered. I went over this morning. In this morning's testimony in Revelation chapter 17, these waters where the great whore sitteth, are nations and tongues and peoples. Yeah. But those three rivers are divided through the waters. Just to recap, again, the Potomac River, the Chesapeake Bay, that goes into the Atlantic Ocean. How they divided. And I was seeing, I'm now being seen on this side of the bank of the river. But my people do not believe it's me. I said we had to leave at the end of that testimony this morning and go to another hill. Go to a hill that weighs about a ton. Right? Not turn backwards. Because we were in a hollow of my hand. We were in another hotel that was in the hollow of my hand. That we had to be in the hollow of my hand. That's called, as you know, as the Holiday Inn. Hand, yard, the Holiday Inn. So we had to leave the Holiday Inn, the hollow of my hand, fulfilling Isaiah chapter 40 and verses 1 through 17. You can read it on your own. It's on a video of our conference line. You can probably catch up with that. I'm not sure that our video of the conference line is still filming. So I decided to bring the end of this revelation and put it on Facebook so all can know who don't believe. Because my father said they would not believe. So I had to pick up a rod by its tail off the ground. And now I'm that rod that came off the ground, that was formed of the ground, the dust of the ground, that fulfills Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. The rest of my people are sleeping in the dust of the earth, fulfilling Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. There's a difference. But the only way they're going to believe is to know that I'm also Hiram. I'm also known in the Bible as Hiram. That's where we're going to come in at. My father is the architect of the universe. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
My father is the architect of the universe. I'm the engineer of the architect. I'm the builder. And I have my angels here who saw me build. And how we build the kingdom all the way down in the south. As my ark came down, he said he saw the affliction, he came down to the south from Oklahoma. Right? He came all the way down to the south as he seen the affliction of my people. His people, his children. So now here we are on the hilltop. This hotel is named Hilton. On the hilltop. With the N and without the N, substitute the N for the P. You have hilltop. Is that right? Okay. So now we're in the book called First Kings. As we said, picking the rod. Now I was about to go to Micah chapter 6, verse 9. Is that correct? Okay. So right now we're in First Kings. So turn to that. Or where were we in?
We just read Micah 6:9.
Read it again. Micah chapter 6, verse 9.
The Lord's voice cried unto the city.
Now I'm in the city. This is supposed to be a city. This is that city of Micah chapter 6, verse 9.
Wow.
The Crystal City. We're in Crystal City, Virginia, where the virgin is. The virgin. The whore. There was a whore. Not actually the vagina, the whore. Right? Virginia. A, that's from right to left. A, right? Ma'ab is A. And there's one standing next to A. One. That's A and the I. Then you have from left to right the virgin. Without the R, it's a vagina. Right? Of the whore. All right. Now, read that again. Micah chapter 6, verse 9.
The Lord's voice cried unto the city,
Mm-hmm.
and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who have appointed it.
Now, that's the mystery. That same rod is a rod from Exodus chapter 4 and verses 1, 2, 3 that we read earlier. You can read that on your own. This is the rod. I am that rod. All right?
Yeah.
And this rod is also being held by Hiram. Now go back to 1 Kings. And chapter 7. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now read, we just left off.
We finished verse 14.
We finished verse 14. Read verse 14 again. Again.
He was a widow's son
We
of
started at 13. I believe, yeah, we have to start at 13.
and King Salomo sent and fetched Hiram out of Tyre.
Now, we also mentioned that Pharaoh, that Hiram, the name Hiram means noble one. The noble one. That right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we know the name, that means that's a noble one who's also an engineer that built for the architect. He's called an architectural engineer. Right?
Yeah.
That's verse 13. Actually, verse. What you just
We
read?
just read verse 13.
Okay. Read verse 14.
He was a widow's son.
That's where we left off at. I said it's got to be recorded. The word Hiram you can find in your strong concordance on the H 2438. The meaning means noble. Noble, right?
Yeah.
The chief architect and engineer. He was the chief architect engineer of the structure, not of the universe. My father's the architect of the universe. That means Hiram can architect for something and create it and then build it, as you saw me do.
Yeah.
it out. Next thing, go get the materials from Home Depot and build it. Right?
Right.
And verse 14 says what?
He was a widow's son.
He was a widow's son of the tribe of Naphtali.
Yeah.
And that will explain why my father wrote a book that's titled A Widow's Son Raised. My father was not a widow's son. He was raised by both of those who thought they were his parents. Is that right?
Right.
And in this book that he wrote a book that features, this is referring to me.
True.
Right here. The Widow's Son Raised. It's right here. You can find this book online. He wrote that book, The Widow's Son Raised. Huh?
Right.
I mean, that's a photo that I looked like when I visited him that day in the prison in 1992 in Miami. Same suit. To let everyone know that I'm Hiram.
God, no.
But they don't believe that.
What's wrong with it?
They don't believe that. Now, if they don't believe this today, as I reveal this, then they're going to perish with Revelation chapter 21 and verse 8 as promised. They're going to be burned with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Now read 14 again, all of it.
He was a widow's son of the tribe of Naphtali, and his father was a man of Tyre, a worker in brass, and he was filled with wisdom.
Now, Tyre means to distress. Don't go by the name, go by the meaning of the name. And my father at the time was in distress because they were persecuting him by judicial murder in the U.S. courts.
True.
That's Hiram's father. He was in distress. You got it? And he was a worker in brass.
Right.
How is that? Because they had brass on him all the time to call handcuffs and shackles. And shackles. Come on, you figured this out. When I saw him last face to face, they put shackles on his ankles and handcuffs on his wrists. And that's a worker in brass. Not a worker of brass, a worker in brass. And I guarantee you, in prison, they had brass on him as well. Working in the yard in brass. A worker in brass because he was in prison. But he was filled with wisdom and comprehending and cunning to work. All works in brass while you're working. Not only in brass, but the cells are made out of brass too, and iron. The prison made in brass, but he was working in brass, writing books and feeding me with those words that he was writing of his books. I read every one of his books as he was feeding me. And he came to King Solomon and wrought all his works. Verse 15.
For he cast 2 pillars of brass of 18 cubits high apiece, and a line of 12 cubits, and did compass either of them about.
Now, did you see it? Or do you see it? You're looking at me, but you cannot see it, can you? Until I point it out. You don't see it? Take a good look. Okay. Well, since you can't see it, you got to read the next verse and maybe you'll see it because I'm surrounded by it. And I'm encircled. Read it. Verse 15. 16.
And he made 2 chapters of molten brass to set upon the tops of the pillars.
Okay. What is the chapter? Well, read all of it and we come back to it.
The height of one chapter was 5 cubits, and the height of the other chapter was 5 cubits.
Even balance.
Wow.
Now, if you look in the background and on this hill, that I'm on the top of this hill, on the 7th floor, because we removed the end, because that's Nun, the son of Nun.
Yeah.
So we removed the end and we put the mouth of the Lord here, which is Pei. So we have hilltop instead of Hilton. Hilltop. If you're looking back at me, you see two pillars.
Hmm.
These are those two pillars.
Wow.
See two pillars?
Yeah. Perfectly lined up. Too.
And they're perfectly lined up even.
Yeah.
As a balance.
Wow.
Actually, if you can see it, that means, and I'm surrounded by the chapiters that's created by Kaf under Strong's H3805. Come on, you saw that. Why do you think I had to sit this way between two pillars as Hiram? This word chapiters, it comes from the Hebrew word known as kotereth, under H3805, and it means the capital crown.
What?
It means capital crown. Tomorrow I'm going to be wearing a crown at the Capitol.
God.
Again, called the White House. The capital of a pillar. The capital of a pillar is also called the capital of the United States of America. I'm going to the Capitol.
Wow.
The White House.
Yeah.
But it comes from its etymological meaning under Kaf, Teth, Resh. That means to surround in an encircle. And I'm going to go with 7 golden candlesticks that's going to encircle me, and we're going to walk in a circular motion with the two pillars in my background. Those two pillars will also be at the White House. You're going to see we walk in 2 pillars of column beams as we walk between them. I hadn't been there yet, but I know they're there because it's prophetical. It wouldn't be here if it's not there. And I hadn't been there yet. Not in this Pharaoh, not to this Egypt. I've been to the other one that had 2 pillars in Pharaoh's palace. But I guarantee you there's 2 pillars in that White House that we're going to walk between. And the way I'm going to be dressed, you cannot ignore who I'm going to be, who I am, in your face. I'm going to be because this is being recorded, and they may be watching this now, or they watch it tonight. So that means tomorrow hasn't gotten here yet. So who I'm going to be in your face. And you can ignore me if you want, because my all may hard your heart. But you know I'm going to be there. It would be to your advantage to meet with me, to discuss letting my people go. And if thou refuse, let's go see what that means. This is again, if thou refuse. Do you see it? In fact, we're not done yet with this meeting. Hold on. We got to go back to some more meaning. We're not finished with 1 Kings chapter 17. And some more of this revelation, because my people have been eaten up by false prophets, and they put their bones in a cauldron pot. You read verse 16?
Yeah.
Okay, upon the tops of the pillars, the height of one. We got the heights, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's chapiters we got. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the pillars. When you look at these pillars under H5982, the first meaning gives you like columns. Right? It also means to make a stand. Now, go to H5975. And it gives you Ahmad. And the first meaning is to stand. That means Michael is going to the White House to stand. That's going to fulfill Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. To take one stand. And to stand still. And stop moving. And to station and set. To cause to stand firm and maintain. To appoint. Who has appointed it? The rod. Ordain and establish the kingdom of Shalom. It's right there. Are you getting this?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have another meaning in the same revelation. Read verse 17 now.
And nets of checker work, and rest of chain work, for the chapiters which were upon the top of the pillars, 7 for one chapiter, and 7 for the other chapiter.
Okay, now, this cauldron, you have one meaning here in this passage, this prophetical passage, that brings you to the word cauldron because of our schedule. I'm going to ask you to look for it and study it on your own. It's connected to the pillars and the chapiters and the brass and the checker work. In fact, read verse 18. How did you?
No.
Read verse 18.
And he made the pillars, and 2 rows round about upon the one network to cover the
one network, and now we're on that network. It's called Facebook, social medias.
Yeah.
Facebook on a network called computer network.
Yeah. Worldwide.
Worldwide computer, www network. And it's on the pillars. You'll find it on the H7638. It's on the pillars. You see it in letter B, net ornament on pillars. And here we are, the pillars are still here behind me. Look at it, H7638. Net ornament, and it says on pillars. Network. You ever thought you'd see network in the Bible?
Right.
There it is. To cover the chapiters. And they were with what?
That were upon the top with pomegranates.
Uh-huh.
And so
That's
did.
the shape of it, as a tree. The shape ornaments. And that means to exalt oneself. That means I'm going to go in, and since my Ab is not here in person to exalt me, I have to exalt oneself and be lifted up. And that would be done by Resh, Mem, and Mem Sophie. Now go to H7426. They're going to take you to Ramam, which is part. Now the last, again, H7426 in concordance. It gives you 3 Hebrew characters. Resh, Mem, Mem Sophie. And you see the last 2 on my head. Mem, Mem Sophie with Resh. And it means to be exalted and to be lifted up and to lift oneself. Part of my name. Part of my attributes. You got it?
Yeah.
That's hidden under pomegranate. 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 The fruit, right? What you thought was a fruit. No. Yeah, with purple seeds. Inside is purple. You ever noticed it? Scarlet purple inside. Go buy one and see it. Open up and see it. Want to know why I'm wearing purple? It was time. All prophetical. Now turn to Micah chapter. You have to go to chapter 3. And look at verse 1.
And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel.
Is it not for you to know judgment? Who hate the good and love the evil? I mean, you just hate the good and love the evil. Who pluck off their skin from off them by putting on tattoos all over their skin and bodies. Pluck it off. And their flesh from off their bones. Not realizing what they're doing. Who also eat the flesh of my people. with your vain and lying words and flay their skin from off them, my own people. And they break their bones. Playing football and all kinds of stupid sports. They break their bones and chop them in pieces. As for the pot, what pot? On the top, it's backwards. And it's flesh with the cauldron. See it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the cauldron? The cauldron is part of this bowl, the mind. Destroy the minds of our people. The bowl. And it comes from that approve it because they cannot prosper without their mind. If they've been fed the lies and the deception. If you go to Strong's H6747, it reveals what this cauldron is, where it comes from, as part of where it comes from. But the etymology of it, the root of it, comes from H6743. And it proves that it's part of the prosperity that they are lacking to make progress from, to succeed. They cannot do it if they put them in a pot. To show or experience prosperity, they cannot prosper because those false shepherds are destroying their minds, putting them in a pot. They cannot bring them to successfulness. There's the meaning. Again, H6743 in the Strong's Concordance, James Strong. That takes care of the cauldron. Now, with this final message, to conclude this part 2, let me show you and remind some ye what happened the last time. And I guarantee you, I'm going to say it now, that if thou refuse, you can follow out. Since we left the West Coast, and I said it was going to happen, earthquakes have been 100 earthquakes in 24 hours at one time. Until it's just brewing up. It's like the mercy, like my father's giving them time to get out, Judah. They refuse to leave. Now go back to Exodus chapter 4. You left off at verse what? We put the hand in the bosom. We got to make Judah their skin. We got to make them come back to. They have to come back to the black and leave that white man alone. Leave that white man come back as the other flesh. Read verse 8.
And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee.
And they're not. They're what?
Neither hearken to the voice of the first son.
And they didn't. And that includes the United States government. They should know it's me. I'm not here to prove to them or convince them either. They know that the Christ is to return one day. And they can see by these signs that's happening on this planet of nature. No such thing as climate change. Climate don't change. The weather may change, but the climate doesn't. It's the same climate as it was before when this earth was created, this planet. Same climate. You also have seasonal changes.
Right.
No climate. Even when it's winter, the climate is cold. When it's hot, the climate is hot. In the summer, the climate is hot. In the winter, the climate is cold. In the fall, the climate is cool. In the spring, it's cool. There's no climate change. And you can't come up with no funds to change it with funds and donations and science and send rocket ships, man-made ships up in space. You cannot do that. Now you're fulfilling Isaiah chapter 14. You cannot do it. You tried to send a rocket ship up. I don't know if they got it up yet. Unmanned. I have a surprise for you. I have some news for you. Those that you sent up that you thought were men in there, they wasn't man either. They're unmanned. You sent up beasts in the ships. You never sent a man up in space. You may have sent one Yehudite up there once, but he wasn't a man. He was full of leprosy. Why, you want to accept the challenge? Do I have to remind you to accept the challenge that you call challenger? Yeah, well, we challenge you again. Oh, glory to my God. You cannot do what you're trying to because you're not going to be successful. Your best bet, and I'm known as having mercy. Oh, I delight in mercy. I get off on, I told you this before, and I'm not changing it. I don't change. I get off on being merciful. If you can put mercy, if I can go and find a pusher man on the street that sells mercy and go get me some cigarette paper and put some mercy in the cigarette paper and roll it up, I can roll up mercy in some cigarette paper and get a match and light it, and I get high off being merciful. Yeah, mercy. That means what? All you have to do is meet with me. Just challenge me to see if it's me. Handle me and see. Feel my hand. I sent you a letter with my handprint so you can put your hand in it and see it's me. The same one that Eisenhower saw. Dwight. You know, remember Dwight? My hands, Isaiah chapter 40. Handle me. Come and check my height. We should look eye to eye because you're also 6 feet. 72 inches. But you're not quite. I'm the only one that's exactly 72 inches to the head breadth. I'm exactly 72, 4 cubits of measure. A perfect 72. Fulfill Revelation chapter 20, verse 17. 20. Revelation chapter 20, verse 17. All I have to do is meet with me. Invite me to come in to your Oval Office as we sit down and have a nice smile. I'll smile. And then we can meet in private. You can have your servants around, they're secret. If you want your servants around, they're secret. We don't have, see, I don't carry your guns. You want to ban certain guns that y'all made to destroy each other with? That's your priority. We don't carry your man-made guns. We have weapons that you saw in 1954 or whatever the year was when you made the day the earth stood still. I'm the earth. And I was standing still since that time, but now I got to come and stand. I got to fulfill Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And you saw what our laser beams can do in melting your weapons. They actually can. They can also make bodies go away. And they don't cruise when they do that either. Right, Tom? Go look at War of the Worlds. Go look at that movie. Steven knows. He made movies on that. Steve knows. They make movies. They know who we are. They may not know what we are, but we are alienated. We are alienated from everyone else on this planet. Separated. All you have to do is meet with me. Welcome us in. We won't take up too much time. We have a jet to catch to go back to the Kingdom of Shalom down south in Miami. We're scheduled to go back. Unless, of course, you offers a ride. We miss our flight. As long as you make up for the missing of our flight, then we'll stay for a little while longer. But we have another jet to catch. First class times whatever the number is that we are. You'll find out when you get there. We flew first class here. You should have saw the flight attendants. We took up one side of the first class on that jet. 4 rows times 2. It may sound difficult, but it's easy. Just meet me. because we're about to read the rest of what's going to happen if you don't. I had to do that before you read the rest. This is real. It may be in English print, but this came from Hebrew Scrolls, even those that we left in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, and in the caves of Qumran in Cairo, right? The caves in Qumran, we left 900 scrolls, all recorded of what we plan to do and what we come to do, and what we're doing. Even you saw the splashes in the ocean of our ships going in the ocean, right by the Bermuda Triangle, right by the triangle here in this part of the United States that you call Virginia. Another triangle right here. Diamond cut. Our ships are underwater. Our ships are underwater here now. And they're above my head right now. You can't see them. But I have ships that go everywhere I go. And they become visible when they want to become visible. And your radar's trying to pick them up. They're too fast for you. Maybe that's why you say unidentified.
Right.
What verse are you?
At the end of verse 8.
Read the rest of verse 8.
That they
Read 8 all over again. Somebody have just joined us, got lost. They may have run and got somebody in the hallway and say, come and see. What?
And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign,
Then what's going to happen?
that they will believe the voice of the latter sign.
This is the latter sign. This was the first sign. The first sign was in Egypt over in Africa. This is the spiritual Egypt now. In the latter days, the latter sign. Read verse 9.
And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two
Now,
signs.
there's two signs. The first sign, the latter sign. That what?
Neither hearken unto thy voice.
The voice is now being heard. I'm uttering the voice now in this live stream video. The voice. Now, this one is designed with a photo image, a visual image of my figure, my terrestrial body, with my celestial soul in it. That what?
That thou shalt take of the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry land. And the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land.
I wonder why that drawbridge was up last night. They hadn't been up for a while, coming across the Potomac. He'd been here for over 55 years, and he only saw that bridge go up one time, growing up in this city, in this area. And I tell you, I promise, if you meet with me, I'll show you that birthmark I have under my right nipple in the shape of a spear. I'll show you a mark I have right on my right nipple that looks like somebody poked it with a spear before I came out the womb. That happened over 2,022 years ago. To show you I have the same body as me. It's there. But you want to see what the river turned to blood? You thought it flooded. Were they going to arrest me because I make it flood? And the blood? I'm not threatening. We're not terrorists.
Right.
This is not a terrorist threat or attack. You don't want to tangle with us. You do not want to dance with my Father and my angels I have up there with him. You do not want to do that. Read verse 10.
And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken. Heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech, and of a slow tongue.
Verse 11.
And the Lord said unto him, Who have made man's mouth?
Who have made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Not my Father, the Lord, that you know is the Lord? Now what in verse 12?
Now therefore go.
Go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And he did. I know everything to say. Especially when he tells me to say it. I know what to say and don't even know how to say it yet. No, I do. I know what to say and how to say it. It didn't even come to me yet. In fact, it hadn't even been created yet. What I should say.
Wow.
That means my Abba created what to say and then put it in my soul as he come to me telepathically in sound and a tone in my mind, and he speak to me in my voice, in my mind with his voice, and then his voice comes out of my voice, and I say it to you on what to say.
Mm.
That's why he told me don't worry about what to say, and that's why I said it before. It happens, yeah, the same thing. Other people are witnesses.
Mm.
And then he tells me to create a word, and I create it. He creates the word, and then it comes in my mouth when he created it. I don't create. I can't do anything. I can't do nothing of myself. That's why whatever I hear, that shall I speak. And then I will show you things to come. That's the mystery of that. He tells me what to say, and I hear it. When I hear it, look for a Florida tag. Then I'll tell you. And then when you see it, it says things to come. Then when you see it, there it is.
Right.
You're witnesses. And not the first time it happened either. We went to Georgia, the same thing happened.
Amazing.
See, again, I repeat. I say things and don't even know how to say it yet because it hasn't been said by him yet. But I already know what to say.
Right.
And haven't even heard it. Figure that out. That fulfills John 16:13. But they didn't know that. Read verse 14. Well, read 13.
And he said, "O my Lord, send, I pray
See, I
thee,
didn't want to read that, but we got to go ahead in order. Go ahead.
by the hand of him whom thou wilt
See,
send."
he tried to cop out. I'm not good enough for this, so send somebody else. Yeah, go. Why you want to go get Aaron? Go. Yeah, go get Tyrone or Cecil or somebody. I ain't even graduate from high school. What a mistake. What a mistake. Don't ever say that. Look at verse 14 and see what happens. If you ever tell God you ain't going to do nothing. God made up his mind that he want you to do it. And you're going to say, no, I'm not. No, go get my brother. He ain't doing nothing. No, he over there sitting down watching television. Go get him to do it. You're going to tell God what to do. He told you to do it. So you tell God, no, you get somebody else to do it. I ain't doing nothing. I got a football game come on tonight. I got to go watch the Super Bowl. I ain't got time to go see no Pharaoh.
Oh,
Not me. So besides, they don't know my business anyway. They shouldn't have got themselves in slavery. It ain't none of my business they put in bondage. Why you bother me? Why you bother me? I'm minding my own business. I'm just a dumb nigga. And you bother me. Yeah, I'm chilling out too. All of a sudden, and then on top, you gonna tell me you God. You know God ain't no man. That's what they say. They put it in comments. Yeah, comments. This nigga ain't met no Moses. I have fun with it. That's Judah. I expected. They did that to me over 2,000 years ago. Same soul. They mocked me and wait till they see his crown of thorns. A purple. May reveal that. I don't know if we'll have time tomorrow. We got to be at a certain time. But if we do, we get up in the morning. I'll reveal this crown of thorns in purple. It appeared only one time in the Bible.
wow.
Once. And I'm doing it now. Here I am with the crowns of thorns and purple.
Good.
They don't know the mystery of that.
Wow.
Look at what happened in verse 14. You're going to go find somebody else to do it. Read verse 14.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses.
My goodness. Let God be angry with you. You thought your mom or your daddy was angry with you. You thought your teacher in high school, your coach or your principal was angry. You thought your pastor in your church was angry. You thought the bishop was angry with you because you didn't go get the tithe bucket in time and all the people that leave the church. You thought that was, and you thought your wife was angry with you, or your husband? You thought your child was angry with you because you didn't buy them a Mary Jane or a bag of potato chips at Walmart? And they went home and took the table and turned it over and broke all your porcelain on it and turned the potato salad over that you cooked. You was in there making for 3 hours and took it and threw it on the floor because your cousin coming over from Bermuda. You thought that was angry? Go tell God you ain't going to do something. Let him be, it says kindle. You got to study kindle. See, that's kind of a lead. You see kindle, but I see a kind of a lead. You know what that lead is? Go study the chemical elements of lead, and all that mercury will be right up in your butt. I speak the truth. That's furious. See, that comes from Hebrew word keth, resh, he, kara. Kara with the, little ra. Ra. We used to think Spain get that from. Got to roll your R. On the H2734, anger. But this is celestial anger. You can't even imagine or measure the anger of my Father. You think those tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, mudslides, earthquakes, you think that's anger? You don't want, see, his anger, when he gets angry with you, you don't exist anymore. Right. So you may survive an earthquake or a hurricane, a tornado, mudslide, flood. You may know how to tread the water for 3 hours. But when he gets angry with you, you don't exist anymore. They don't even, it's no such thing as even a closed casket. There's no need for casket because they can't find you. They may they put a photo up in the church. Yeah, in memory of, and it's not even a decent photo either. To heat oneself in vexation. You don't want to do that. I'm looking at the meanings of this word, kara, ara. Actually, kara. But keth. Keth, resh, he. Extreme celestial anger. Kindle against Moshe. And he said what?
Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother?
Now read on.
I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart.
Read on.
And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth. And I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do.
You missed the mystery. You didn't even see it. First, Moshe telling God that he can speak. But his own God had to remind him that not only can he speak, but he can teach somebody else how to speak. That's what kind of power wisdom he has. You go teach him how to speak, right? I'm going to teach you how to speak. And then both of y'all can speak, because I'm going to speak between both of you. I'm going to speak in both of y'all. Moses doubted his own wisdom. Even as he went to school, and others did not go to school with the Egyptians. See, that's why you think my father came here as an appellation of Moses in 1979 in Miami. He came as Moses Israel. Why? Because he taught himself. He self-taught. A library. He read a library. He read a whole library. From 00 to 999, he read it. He's supposed to be working, he was reading. In the library. And ate every word in that library. And all the books. And, he did that not just because he's God. He did it because he can. Right. And he's the only one that did. Self-taught, self-carnate. Did you hear what I'm saying? And it came as Moses Israel, Jeremiah 15:16. Ark Moshe, we called him. Read verse 16.
And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people.
Goodness gracious. And what?
And he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of God.
Good gracious.
Wow.
He's still speaking through Aaron. And Aaron's speaking through him. In verse. So what's Aaron? See, you look at the name again. You look at Aaron, you're looking at AA. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it wasn't no Aaron. See, AA, that's Adam twice. AA, Adam Olive, the light bearer. I mean, Moshe came in 1979 and spoke to Aaron, the light bearer. And now that Moshe is gone, the light bearer has to go to Pharaoh and speak. But yet Moshe is still speaking to the light bearer in his mind as he goes to Pharaoh to speak. That's why he can teach Aaron how to speak, because he is the word.
What?
That was made flesh. So he being the word made flesh, and he told him that in 1986 in his office. He taught another word to go be made, to go speak, and now he's made flesh. Because in the beginning was the word. The word was with God, the word was God. So you got one word, you got two words. One was with God and one was God. Two words. Both made flesh. Ezekiel 34:11.
Yeah.
That explains that. See, I'm here today to explain and reveal mysteries of the Bible. Only the Son can do. Again, John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word. Right? The Word was with God. Moshe. And the Word was God. Aaron. AA.
Yeah.
The light bearer. That's H175. In case you want to know, you can call it H175. The name Aaron means light bearer, or light bringer. Bring up the light. That means Moses Israel brought the light with him in 1979. Right in the temple. From one place to the next place, he brought the light bringer with him. Even 19 years apart. Right here to this planet. The light bringer. And that he would light up every man that comes to the world. And I was still in John 1. He light up every man that comes to the world. Put lights in the dark minds. Even as the earth was not formed and void. The earth was not formed and void. Now you're back in Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning. Verses 2, 3. Say, let there be light. See, darkness was on face of the deep. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. So the light bringer had to bring a light and said, let there be light. And there was light. Now you got the light bringer. Who? Aaron. Huh? The brother of Moses.
Right.
Ark Moshe, brother Mika.
Makes sense. Let's put them together.
It's right there. It was all there. They couldn't see it. Read verse 17.
And thou shalt take this rod.
The rod that's in thine hand. I'm the rod. Wherewith thou shalt do signs. And I did. I'm doing signs with that rod. You look at the rod, all kinds of signs I've done. And put them right on Facebook, social media. Even put them in the faces in all the cities where I went. All these signs. And after that, Moses did what in verse 18? Returned.
And Moses went and returned to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said unto him, let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said to Moses,
Shalom Aleichem.
Yeah.
Go. And go and Shalom. Go and Shalom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what happened?
And the Lord said unto Moses in Midian, go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life.
Go ahead.
And Moses took his wife and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of God in his hand.
And did what?
And the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh.
Now I return to the spirit of Egypt, the place where Pharaoh is, in the district. I'm in the district of the columns, the pillars, Kalambi. The pillar, and what?
Which I have put in thine hand, but I will harden his heart,
See?
that he shall not let the people go.
See?
Wow.
See? For a reason. That why? So they don't get off so easy. They got to be punished. They got to be judged. They got to be hard-headed. See, it's not like, see, Baal will only kill you or hurt you if you do something wicked or if you don't obey him. Right? He will do that. But, I mean, he don't need an excuse. So, he didn't go directly to Moshe. He sent somebody is going to a second person. Right? So what he do is he tell Moses, tell him let him go. Let you go. I'll make him say no. That way, when I make him say no and harden his heart, I won't have to kill him because I didn't tell him to do it. You did. And not only that, I got to send some plagues to let him know that through you, you have power. To harden your heart. So that was two before that. See, that it goes for Obama and Trump.
Wow.
Hardened hearts.
Yeah, they hardened the heart. They refused to see me. So between those times, that time, look at all the plagues that ensued. All those years from 2007 to 2022. And these plagues are not only plagues of lice and Zika and Ebola and what they call COVID-19. Is all, and the plague that comes to the toes, eat the toes, all those plagues, eat the foots and all that. No. See, this plague, the plague that's going to happen now, not all those plagues. See, all of that happened, but there's coming a plague that you cannot ignore, and that's what's coming up next. That's why I say it's best to see me. I'm not making this up. You are a witness. You are my witnesses that knows that every single word that comes out of my mouth comes to pass, and they shall not return to me void. And I felt the spirit of my heart come over my body as I said that. I come in my soul as I said that. This is a warning. This is a warning, I'm telling you. That's why we got to go into a secret, hiding, sheltered place. Right, Pedro? I showed you that to you the other night. We got to go where Pedro is. And we're going to have transportation to take us there too. Watch what I tell you. He showed me already. You read that in verse 21?
Okay. That he shall not let the people go.
Read verse 22.
And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh,
Thus said the Lord God, as you know him, the Lord. If you want to call him Yahweh or Yodewave, then feel free. But he's God. As I heard you say today, for the sake of the name of God, for God's name. You don't even know his name. You were raised and deceived by your Catholic people. You were raised and deceived by the devils. You're following a false religion and a false God. There's no such thing as religion. There's only one God, the God that made you.
come on.
That's your God. He made you, created you, and formed you. One God. So you've been deceived. The whole world is deceived by nations of other gods. There's only one. The God of the Hebrews. And I'm from him. I'm of him and from him. I'm part of him. So hearken to what I'm saying. That's verse 21. Right? Israel is my son. And my name, I'm coming in the name of Israel. On my ID, on my driver's license, my passport is Mika Israel. I'm telling you, I'm coming tomorrow. Every time before a storm hits, a hurricane,
Get that one.
they put up a flag that says it's a warning, the hurricane's will hit in 24 hours. Before it's a hurricane, it becomes a depression, a tropical wave. Before it's a tropical wave. Before the depression is a tropical wave. Before the tropical storm is a depression. And before the hurricane is a tropical storm. Before Category 1 is a tropical storm. It's a hurricane. Before Category 2 is a Category 1. Before Category 3 is a Category 2. Before Category 4 is a Category 3. Before Category 5 is a Category 4. Before Category 6 is a Category 5. And that one you ain't want to go.
Yeah.
You won't want to go to another Dorian. Because Dorian was a Category 6 that stood still because I said stop. right at Abaco. I said, you can't go. Abaco, stop. Or Co. Or Co. Stop. And it stood there for what, 24, 48 hours to stop. And then, because it was coming to the United States, I said, stop. All of them since I've been back from the Bahamas in 2007 that came this way, even those that began with me, even Michael that went up. I sent Michael up there. I called for Michael in the Gulf as they go up to Tallahassee and say, you better give him my money. And all those that were coming, I took my right hand and waved them to go up that way or go around. Go around, Irma. You can say, you can kiss us with your breath, but go around Miami. And they were all projected to come right across downtown Miami, where I was and where I am, not now, but when we go back, right now, I'm in the virgin's womb. I'm in the whore's womb right now. You got it?
Yeah.
And I told Ed Dorian was supposed to come this way to the Florida coast, to Miami. And I said, stop. Now go look at Nahum chapter 1 and study it, all of it. The whole chapter, Nahum chapter 1. Stop. And we watched it on television, just sitting there, and killed up and drowned up a whole bunch of folks. They still can't find them to this day. And I said, now go up and say shalom to, go say something to Trump. Go wave at Trump. And it made a, you ever heard a hurricane making a sharp right turn? Stop for 48 hours at a stop sign, and then look both ways to make sure nothing's coming, and make a right turn and go straight up the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, north. You want to know the mystery? Who ever heard of a hurricane forming off the coast of the Bahamas in 2005? After I visited New Orleans the first week in August of 2005, the first week, and told people a terrible storm was coming. They didn't believe. Here we are right back here at Exodus chapter 4. They didn't believe. And I told one in particular, get out, it's coming. They ain't coming. I say, get out, it's going to come. When you hear it coming, get out. I'm sending a terrible storm this way. Didn't believe. And then the next thing you know, it's forming for the first time in history off the coast, 100 miles where I was sitting. A hurricane formed to be the most detrimental hurricane on record. Right? Katrina. But listen, I looked on television and saw bodies floating in the water on television. People on the roofs holding up signs, HELP. The house is underwater. They're on the roof. But listen, I did that. I called for it. You don't have to believe it. I'm not here to convince you. All you have to do is ignore it. Harden your heart. See, Ma'ab hardened hearts. Now they have the power to harden their hearts too. That's not his will. I'm not here to go against his will. I'm here on Ma'ab's will, but I'm doing my works. Now, his will is for you to see me. But you can do your will and pretend like you are God. And you are not the most powerful man on this planet. If you want to match power, I challenge you. I accept your challenge. Let's match power. And I don't have a secret. I don't have a secret or service. I serve my Father, my Lord. So now read verse 21 again.
And the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand.
And I did. I just demonstrated it, and I testified again that I did that. They were wonders. And what?
But I will harden his heart.
Now that was from 2007 to 2022. Actually, that was from 2007 to January 20th, 2021. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. That he what?
That he shall not let the people go.
Right. Now, read verse 22.
And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my
It's
son,
going to be on my ID. Even what?
even my firstborn.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And what?
And I say unto thee,
Let my son go, that he may serve me. And read the part after the colon, after me.
and if thou refuse to let him go,
What?
behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn.
Do you see this?
God.
As if you refuse. Now, you don't have to believe this. But you don't even know you're supposed to let the son go. Even the firstborn. That's why, you want to know why I stayed at the Holiday Inn? But we stayed at the Holiday Inn first. It's prophetical. Out of all the hotels, I told you to go online before we got here to see what rooms we can get with good rate. And it all came out of my pocket. We flew first class. Everything we did here came out of my pocket. I ain't asked for donations from nobody. I don't ask for no money from no one. You sold yourselves for naught. You shall be redeemed without money. Could you imagine? All the expenses came out of my pocket. I asked for no donations. I ain't putting on no YouTube about what they call this. What they call it? I don't even know what it's called. A GoFundMe? I don't even know what it's called. I ain't for your money. I want your money. I'm not false. I'm not asking you to send me tithes and offerings, or sell you books online. That's not even you're not permitted to do. I'm not permitted to do.
Yeah.
Just so you can pay your house note, your mansion note, your car note, buy your liquor and your what you like to do with your money, with their money.
Right.
But why did we stay at the Holiday Inn? Out of all those hotels that had rates, we had to settle at the Holiday Inn. Read verse 24 and see.
And it came to pass by the way in the inn.
In the inn?
In.
In the hollow of my hand. The I-N-N?
The I-N.
The I-N-N in Pharaoh, in the Pharaoh land, in the palace. In the city.
Yeah.
That the what?
That the Lord met him
And the what?
and sought to kill him.
Did you see this?
Right there.
It's in the Bible.
Wow.
Do you see it? We're going to conclude this in a moment. Very quickly, go to chapter 8. Read verses 1 and 2.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs.
And one night, for many nights, we've been hearing frogs around all the time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Chapter 9, verses 1, 2, and 3.
Then the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me.
Verse 2.
For if thou refuse to let them go, and wilt hold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen.
Now you're dealing with the Department of Agriculture. Read on. Read to verse 5.
And upon the sheep there shall be a very grievous murrain. And the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. And there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel. And the Lord appointed a set time, saying,
What?
Tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land.
Good gracious. A repeat of history. Exodus chapter 10, as we get ready to close. Exodus chapter 10, start at verse 1. Read verse 1 to 5.
And the Lord said
Actually
unto
to verse 6.
And the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him.
That is the reason why my arm hardened his heart, so he could show them these signs. He's God. Verse 2.
And that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and of thy son's son what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am the Lord.
Got that? It's only one God, the one who created this universe. And man and everything on it, women, everything. Verse 3.
And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, How long?
How long? How long will thou refuse to humble thyself before me? How long of all the years from 2007 to 2022 now will thou refuse to humble thyself to me? And Pharaoh is not one person. Pharaoh is a position. Because they all got copies of letters. They were all told the meetings, secret meetings. How long is it going to be that y'all continue to do this? What I'm doing now is historical. It's prophetical, being fulfilled, historical, and it's real. Now, for now. You think I'm a joke or someone to play with because you think I'm an ordinary man. Because I look ordinary to you. I told you I'm celestial. I am not terrestrial. You can't even imagine the things I can do what I've done to the sight of people. I have witnesses.
Yeah.
Superman.
And they really don't believe I stopped the bullet. But check my record. You know my background. You came and interviewed me. You sent your agents to interview me. You think I'm stupid? I'm the one. I'm the man of wisdom. I wasn't. They was interviewing me. I was interviewing them. What you should do is humble yourself to me, as I humble myself to you. I humbled myself to you, and I became like a little lamb among wolves, knowing how much power I had when I went in. And you couldn't even see those that went in with me, that were standing around. And they were armed. And they were armed even like this. They were armed all over the place. You couldn't see them. Read verse 3. I want you to read verse 3 over again.
And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me.
You see who's speaking now? I had you to do that again, because this is the first time that the Lord himself is going to go. Did you see that? The other times you read, Moses said that.
Right.
Now I have to do it myself in person. Right?
Yeah.
How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me, Mem Yod. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts unto the coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, of this planet, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And you know that has happened already. Locusts and the hail. And they shall fill thy houses, and the house of all thy servants, and the house of all the Americans, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day. And he returned himself and went out from Pharaoh, that I will be doing when we leave that White House tomorrow. I'm giving you a preview. And Pharaoh's servant said, what to him? How long shall this man be a snare unto us? How long are you going to put up with him? Let the men go, that they may serve their Lord, their God. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? You can't see that America's destroyed. Even the economy is already destroyed.
Already gone.
You can think that your administration put out more jobs than anybody in the history of the President of the United States in this short time. Job? Really? Job? Well, the rest will be seen. As I stretch my rod over the land of Egypt, and I bring a wind upon the land, all that day I'm going to bring a wind. All that night, in the morning, the locusts will come. But you have to know what locusts is.
Right.
Or you think of grasshoppers. That's what you're thinking. But you have to figure out what the LO is, and the low cost, and the LU, and the low cuts. You see locusts. Is that what you see? You see locusts. I see LOCUSTS. That's all you see. You don't see the insignificance of what's going to happen and the activity that will ensue. You don't see that. You don't see the arbe of H697 in strong concordance. You don't study locusts. You don't see how something's going to become so great, or become so many, or become so much, until you will be able to bear it. To become numerous, and also be enlarged and increase. Something you think is locusts. To make great and enlarge. Also to shoot. That's H7235. The Hebrew word rabah again.
To shoot.
I'm not making up. I'm reading. Not threat. This is not a threat. Who ever heard of God threatening?
Right.
He do. He don't threaten. He warns. He causes, he warns, and causes it to happen. I pray to my Father they can hear this and they take heed to what I'm saying. I really do. Even as I sit between the two pillars on this hilltop. Anyway, that's the last testimony that I'm going to utter and present to this planet, www, until after this plague hits this country. If thou refuse. If thou refuse. And I feel extremely confident with that. I really do. I really do. And you want to know what else I have to say behind all that? You want to know what else I have to say after that? Nothing.